Yo, 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 what's up, family? Before we start the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and share it in everyone that you can. Just get out there a little bit more. With that being said, let's get right into the video. The Boston Celtics lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder again in a really good game, 118 to 112, and I want to take a look. So let's get into the film. All right, how y'all doing? I hope y'all doing good. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, make sure you take your shoes off before you come in the house. And the Oklahoma City Thunder, man, this is a really good team. This is the only team in the NBA that the Celtics won't be able to beat this season. And they started off hot, man. They came out sort of like the Lakers did in that game, but this is just a better team than the Lakers. So first, this stretch by Lou Dort really put the stamp on the Thunder, and this got them going, and it set the tone for them. So we have Aaron Wiggins here. We got a ghost slip by Chet Holmgren, and this is more or less the plan with us checking Lou Dort. So this isn't something that I was worried about, but we even though Lou Dort has improved drastically as a shooter, the Oklahoma City Thunder have guys that we will allow to shoot the ball, like him, Kenrich Williams, even Kaysen to an extent. But Lou Dort just hits the first one here. So he knocks that down, right? Just a great way to start off. OKC's gap defense was a big thing in the first half. This led to the Celtics shooting 24 threes in this first quarter and only 2 twos. So they were 9 for 24 as a whole and 9 for 22 from 3. The OKC kind of dictated what the Celtics did on the offense side of the ball. And it's a really tricky twofold mind game, because it's like, okay, you don't want the other team dictating what you do, but at the same time, they're letting us do what we do, which is shoot open threes and catch and shoot, drive, and kick threes. So it was a little bit of mind game there for Mark Dayno, who was like a top 3 coach in the NBA. All right, so here in the Celtics' first play, they wanted to get Jaylen Brown involved early. They know that, sometimes he struggles in these matchups, but they wanted to get him involved early. So we're going to have a little flare screen to the stagger action for Jaylen Brown. So, of course, right here we got Tatum. He's going to come and set this screen on Aaron Wiggins. Then he's going to get that switch right there. So he's going to set the screen. He's going to pass it. Then you're going to have the flare screen here by Al Horford, so Jrue Holiday can come out here. Now, this, to me, is a really good passing option, but sometimes the Celtics just use it for Holiday to go screen. Comes off it, they screen, and I want Jrue Holiday to set this screen, especially on a good defender like Kaysen Wallace, right? I don't want Jrue slipping this. There's, of course, a reason to why he did this, but I want him to set this screen, just given how good Kaysen Wallace is at staying into the body of the offensive player. He's a smaller guy, so he has to be scrappy, he has to be pesky, he has to be laterally quick. Like, he has to be really good at those things, and he is, right? And we saw that in this game, and we knew that already. So I would just want him to set that screen to get Kaysen off of Jaylen Brown just a little bit more. He navigates the screen, and as Jaylen Brown catches the ball, he is just right in his chest the whole time. And this is a shot that Jaylen Brown can make, but we know how tough of a game this was for him. We got an offensive rebound. Tatum gets an open 3. That's a good shot. We just end up missing it, but it's what really set the tone to me is this play right here, because that was a push off. If you saw the other angle, it was a definite push off, and the refs let it go. So I was like, okay, I'm fine with a physical game if both teams are able to do that. You give your opinion on if both teams were able to do that. And of course, we got to show love to Al Horford. He was phenomenal in that Lakers game, and there's something to be said about a 38-year-old always getting up for our biggest games of the season. Like, he had 18, 10, and 6 in this game. Like, he always comes ready to play against the Cavaliers of the world, the Lakers of the world, the OKC. So shout out to Al Horford, man. I don't know where we would be without him, but you see a good example of the OKC defense in the first half on this play here. So we have Derek White driving, we got Kaysen trailing a little bit, then we got Lou Dort coming all the way off. They tilted the floor to whoever drove it in the first half, right? A majority of the times their help was on point, their help was there early, right? In the second half, it was a little slower to come over. Digs weren't as aggressive, like the tilting wasn't as aggressive. So it was just the little things for the OKC that made the defensive game plan. But here we got a pass to Jaylen Brown. Kaysen Wallace, as you can see, is just right in his chest. Got a pass, and we're gonna see where Lou Dort is, right? As Tatum begins to drive, we got Kaysen Wallace at the free throw line. We got Lou Dort right in that driving lane. So Tatum tries to post and then spin just to catch Lou Dort off guard a little bit. Lou Dort isn't caught off guard. We got the pass to Jrue Holiday, and he missed the shot. So yes, the game plan was to give us threes, but they were conceding Al Horford pick and pop threes. Like, they weren't even worried about that. Like, they weren't even closing out a lot of the time. So they get a screen there. Jason Tatum drives. You see 3 defenders are on Jason Tatum. Lou Dort still trails, and Chet had to pick up, had switch on the screen, and he gets a pass out to Al Horford for a 3. One thing that was super effective in this game for OKC was their off-ball fight and their post-entry defense, taking away that passing angle and just fighting like hell not for the ball to go into the post. So here we got Tatum against Casey Wallace. I think Jaylen Brown should have stayed on this for at least 2 more seconds just to see like what Tatum can do. But there were so many times where Tatum and Brown just like allowed a smaller guy to get over them. They need to like work on, well, first of all, the Celtics need to work on post-entry passes because this has been a thing for the entire season. But sealing a defender in the post, especially a small defender, right? You can use both of your arms to seal a defender in the post without grabbing them, without getting a foul. So they got to work on that. But also a nice job by Aaron Wiggins there, providing some help. I think Tatum has the angle at the end of this where he could have got the ball, but then you see right here, so we got Casey playing over top of this, right? So the pass behind the defense is open, but Aaron Wiggins is going to do a nice job coming over to, again, take away that passing angle. So we swing the ball around. Drew ends up driving. A nice drive by Drew Holiday. We do get a semi-open 3 there by Jaylen Brown. And something that really got us going in the first quarter was our second chance points and offensive rebounds. We had 5 offensive rebounds that led to 8 second chance points. Here are 3 of them. And it really frustrated me when we were not able to get the ball in the post, because generally in this game, the post possessions were very effective because it was one of the few times where we were able to get OKC truly in rotation. Just doing one pass to somebody right next to you and trying to drive, that's, their defenders are too good for that. But if you get a mismatch and you post up and now they have to send 2 at you when you have an advantage, that's when you really get their team into rotation. And in the possessions where they got the ball to the post, it was really effective. So here we got Al Horford again, another great defensive play, but Chet ends up scoring. But what that means is, right, you see all 4 shoulders right there, but Al Horford like thought we were going to get the ball. We didn't end up getting the ball. Al Horford's the first one back on offense right now. So whoever was the furthest player on the 3-point line for the Thunder has to check Al Horford. That happens to be Casey Wallace, right? He knows how to seal defender for at least long enough for the pass to come, right? So great angle pass by Tarek White. He put the ball in the right place. You see where Casey is, see where Al Horford is. So now Aaron Wiggins has to double team, right? That means rotations. They are truly in rotation right now. This is what it means to be in rotation, where you double somebody and this person who came to double team is in no man's land for a tick of a second or a second, right? So now they're at our mercy. We swing the ball around and we get an open 3. All right, so OKC wins zone for a couple of stints in this game. The zone is to make teams shoot more threes, right? But that's what they wanted us to do, but that's also what the Celtics want to do. And they did a nice job at deciphering the zone and getting some good looks. So we had a lot of screens set on either side of the zone. So of course, in the 2-3, you got 2 people up. They were playing really aggressive. Sometimes it was a matchup zone, but when you run a pick and roll, right, you set the screen on one side. The other side has to compensate for that side being compromised for a tick of a second if the screen is really good. So here we have Al Horford setting that screen. You see Lou Dort is coming over here because he might have to help sometime for the screen. Comes off of Derek White. He's just too good of a shooter to miss that a lot of times. They were even tilting the floor in the zone, right? So you got a screen say, hey, you see how hard just comes directly off of that, comes up to Tatum to stop his drive, and we have another pick up our 3 by Al Horford. All right, so we didn't score on this, but again, it just shows how effective the post-up game can be against this team, and how like the scheme, like what they want to give up threes, of course they're gonna help, but when you like this looks different. This isn't like gap, right? This isn't like we're gapping up on drives. This is different. There's literally 3 people on Tatum as we speak. You're gonna get a good shot out of this, and it may be a 3. That's what they want, but that's also what we want. There's a twofold mind game there. We want to shoot threes, then they're giving us threes just so they can take it away in the second half. But like, what are we not supposed to take this shot? Like, he got triple teamed, and the post up worked. Actually, Hartenstein. Hold on. Let me get the flash out real quick. Hold on. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so Joe is switched. Hartenstein is also switched, right? So we had a post up. Shea is staying right there on Jason Tatum. We know that, just to help a little bit, right? Hartenstein's gonna come all the way over Payne Pritchard, correct? Right. The pass. Look at the reactions of Shea and Hartenstein. Hartenstein is like, wait, what are you doing? Shea is also like, hey, why is he open? That's interesting. From a team whose game plan is to make them want us to shoot threes, and Hartenstein being the one that came off of Peyton Pritchard, did they communicate a scram? Oh, was Kenrich supposed to come over there? Okay, I see what it is. They do want us to take threes, but they wanted to make it look good. They don't want it to be this open. So, okay. So he's pointing here to Kenrich, but he's not talking. He's just assuming that Kenrich can see his hand. I don't know. But we get an open shot, we just miss it. All right, so our bench was not the greatest in this game. They got thoroughly outplayed, especially like in the big moments. The Thunder bench players made a lot of good plays when they needed them to. Ours did not. But Luke Cornett, I felt like was okay in this game. His hustle, especially, I would like him to rebound more, but four of his rebounds were offensive, right? And you could not say anything about Luke's energy in this game. Not at all. This may be a bad matchup, whatever. But he matched the energy of Isaiah Hartenstein. He matched the energy of every Oklahoma City Thunder on that team. So I do appreciate that from Luke. And you're going to see here on this page. So you got some ram action here. Ram action, again, is an off-ball screen set for somebody to go set a ball screen. So Luke Cornett sets that screen on Isaiah Joe for Sam Hauser to go set that ball screen. And again, OKC did a nice job they did everything in their power in this first half to prevent effective dribble penetration, right? So if you were going to penetrate Jaylen Brown, for example, you had to be turned 2 times. You had to do a spin move. You had to take at least 5 dribbles. Like, they made it super hard, right? And there was a lot of east to west dribbling, especially from Tatum early on in this game, because this is what they're doing. They're forcing him out more. So when those pick and rolls happen, they're forcing him to dribble east and west instead of just getting downhill, right? This pass is open, but Tatum has to get around Isaiah Hartenstein first, then he sees it, but his momentum just carries him down, and he makes a bad pass and we get a turnover. But hustle by Torrey Craig, right? He didn't play a lot in this game. He passed up an open 3, but hustle by Torrey Craig, right? We had a Sam Hauser open 3. He has to hit those. He only hit 1 3 in this game. But Luke, man, Luke really matched the energy. He had a ferocious putback. Like, he was on one today in this game, at least energy wise. Okay, so in this video, there will be times where you might think I'm nitpicking. There will be things that give the Oklahoma City Thunder points that help them close out the quarters better that could be avoided that the Celtics did, right? This was a 6-point game. It's about being disciplined, right? This particular play was literally the difference in the first quarter. The score is 30-30, as you can see. They put in Drew Holiday, they put in Al Horford for his defensive possession, and this happens. Now, I'm still skeptical if this was even a foul or not, because I thought somebody hit ball first. If the foul was up top, okay. So you see Craig and Sam Hauser, they're in great position right now. I feel like Craig hit the ball first. I feel like Torrey Craig he clearly hits the ball first. Clearly. So I'm not really too sure on the rules. Like, if you hit the ball, everything else flies. Everything else goes after that. But he clearly touches the ball first, and then he gets contact. He blocks the shot, and then afterwards he gets contact on Isaiah Joe. I thought the rule was if the ball gets touched, it's live. But also down low, Isaiah Joe kicks both his legs out. That's not a shoot. Nobody shoots the ball like this. Nobody shoots the basketball like this. Look at this. He's doing the jump man. Nobody shoots a basketball like this. But it happened, right? We got to be more aware next time. And probably the most frustrating part of this game for me was how effective OKC was without Shea in the game, right? Without J-Dub, their lineups are supposed to take a hit without Shea. Isaiah Hartenstein won this game for them in that regard. Without Shea on the floor, like, if you look at the construction of the Thunder's team, they don't have another crazy ball handler. J-Dub can do some stuff, but he was out, right? Case is not a crazy ball handler. He's more of a defender and a 3D type guy. Isaiah Joe, who's on the court right now, isn't a crazy ball handler. He's more of a shooter, right? Isaiah Hartenstein is their hub when Shea wasn't in the game. And both times, there was only 2 lineups in this game where the Thunder were without Shea for 2+ minutes. This one right here that I'm going to show you, they were on the court for about 4:47. They were +5. The second one will be in the beginning of the fourth quarter, where Shea and Tatum was off the court again. They were +5. And it was all because of Isaiah Hartenstein. I kid you not. Every single possession, his fingerprints was on that bucket. It was either he scored, he assisted, or he got a screen assist. Every single time. So here we got some pitch action from them, and then we're gonna have pin downs on both sides of the floor. All right, so we got the pitch action there. We got the pin down screen here by Ousmane Dieng. We're gonna have the pin down screen set by Isaiah Hartenstein right there for Chet Holmgren. And the two-man game between Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein was just way too much for this small lineup. And even when we went up, because Joe Mazzulla made a couple of adjustments in this game, like in-game adjustments. So he saw that in the first stint without SGA, when they went to this double big, it was just too much for our small lineup, right? So in the fourth quarter, when they went to it, we put in Al Horford with Luke Cornett, and Isaiah Hartenstein still dominated that lineup. So it was just, I don't know, man. He's a really good player. So you see the pin down on this side, they don't go to it. You see it on this side, and then they start to run angle pick and roll. Isaiah Hartenstein does a nice job setting the screen and slipping, and he gets the floater to go. We got a miscommunication here by the Celtics on the screen. Looked like some Chicago action. Chicago action is a dribble handoff in which the person is receiving the handoff and gets a pin down screen. So you see Casey Wallace is going to act like he's going over there to set this pin down, and Chet is going to receive the handoff. But Casey does a nice job slipping out of this, like clipping Jaylen Brown a little bit and having Payne Pritchard trail him. So Chet Holmgren gets a 3 on the hard assist. All right, so we got OKC again. Isaiah Hartenstein gets another score as a hub. And this was one thing where you could say that Luke Cornett wasn't the best in this matchup. Like, Hartenstein just put his shoulder into Luke Cornett's chest, and he got whatever he wanted in those stints without Shea. He does it again right here. And Isaiah Hartenstein getting another assist as the dribble handoff guy. And this was one of the few times, especially in the first half, where Jaylen Brown didn't see like aggressive gap defense. So a good screen by Luke Cornett, but usually in the first half, Casey Wallace would, like, especially with Isaiah Joe trying to play out of the screen, like Casey would literally be right here in this lane, right? And I promise I tried to find something nuanced to see like what Jaylen Brown can do better in this game, like what went wrong. They just played great gap defense, and he usually has a problem with that. You remember I don't even want to bring that up, but like he just has to be better. And I talked about the East and West dribbling. There was a lot of that, especially like driving the basketball, being turned 2 or 3 times, trying to do the spin move and all that shit. I think that even though they have great defenders, like a Casey Wallace, Shea is a good defender, Kenrich Williams is a good defender, Isaiah Joe is not a good defender, but like they have solid defenders, but a lot of these guys, except for Lou Dort and Kenrich, can't compare strength-wise to Tatum and Brown. So what I would have wanted them to do was more of straight line drives, right? Casey Wallace is good when you have to dribble so many times, right? He gets up under you, he makes things tough. But are you sitting here telling me that if Jaylen Brown straight line drives Casey Wallace and says, you're not going to take me off my line, that Casey Wallace is going to impact that? I don't think so. Jaylen Brown is one of the stronger forwards in the NBA. And if he does a straight line drive to the basket on Casey Wallace cannot knock him off his line. Jaylen Brown owns his space better than anybody, better than most players at his position. But that was one of the plays where he didn't really get aggressive gap defense, so he took advantage of that. You see that was his first points of the game. But again, this big ass 2-man lineup right here. Isaiah Hartenstein with a screen assist sets the pin down for Chet Holmgren, a 7-footer, to come off to the free throw line. And he knocks it down. All right, so as you see, Tatum's back in the game. So the Celtics without Tatum and OKC without Shea, they won that first stand by 5, right? The first quarter ended 33-30. Tatum came back in 47-39. That's an 8-point deficit. So they were down 5 with Tatum when Tatum came back into the game. But here we got some more good zone offense by the Celtics. And as I said earlier, when you screen sides of the zone, the other person has to come over to help, right? So Casey Wallace is coming over, and look, this is very important. This is very important what Jason Tatum does on this play when he sees the extra defender, right? So he could just pass the ball here and we might get an open shot. The important play is him taking this extra extra dribble to the paint to completely get Casey Wallace to sail to him, turn his back to Derek White. So now he passes the ball and Derek White hits a three. And again, another post-entry turnover. Isaiah Joe just fighting like hell on Jaylen Brown. And he got a foul, which would prove to be very big in this game. Another huge thing in this basketball game was OKC stopping massive runs. The Celtics still had runs. They had a 15-3 run. They had a couple 9-0 runs, right? They had runs. But there were multiple times where the Celtics had a chance for those explosive momentum plays where they get a couple stops, they get a couple scores, they force a turnover, but directly and if they score, the crowd's gonna erupt. It's probably gonna be a timeout, right? There was a couple times when those things happened, right? They made the play to potentially go down and make the momentum swinger or like get the crowd involved even more, and they turned the ball over and then OKC scored, right? So this is the possession before. So we got, again, nice zone offense. Al Horford sets the screen on the outside of that side of the zone. Tatum rejects it. He splits, and then he drives. Then he kicks out to Al Horford. And then look, we got some more effective posts. Like this is what I mean right here. This is what I mean. The gap defense isn't as strong because Tatum drove directly into the paint, drew a couple guys, right? But Casey Wallace is a good defender, but he cannot check Al Horford if Al Horford just says, I'm doing a straight line drive. You're too small. So he does that, right? Backs him up. This forces Chet to come over. Now the offensive rebound is open and Tatum finishes, right? So here we go on defense. We got a perfectly timed double team by the Jays, right? Get all up in the shade, force him to lose the ball, turns it over, right? Listen, crowd's going wild right now. Let's see what happens. Turnover. You get a putback dunk on one end. Your two best players double team their best player. We get a turnover. We have a chance to make the crowd erupt. Big momentum. Turnover, and Lou Dort hits that. And OKC closing quarters again, right? You remember the first quarter where, again, I don't think that was a foul, but it happened, right? They closed that quarter with that 3-point foul. They got up 3 points, right? This quarter, they ended the quarter on a 7-3 run and a 5-0 mini run after this three by Tatum. Tatum was like phenomenal in the second quarter. He really answered the bell after I thought he could be more aggressive in the first quarter. He really answered that bell here in the second quarter. So here we got us going around, a pump fake, good pump fake by Drew, driving kick. Tatum gets the three to bounce around and go in, right? So now on the defense side of the ball, we're going to have some good defense by Jaylen Brown after the goal screen on Chet. So he plays good defense, right? Make Shea pass the ball. And I am never one to take expression away from a player, so that's not what I'm doing here. And again, it might seem like I'm nitpicking, but against a team that's good, everything matters. You want to potentially see this team in the finals? Everything matters. Discipline. It matters, bro. Now, he plays good defense, and then JB's going to start clapping, right? As he's clapping, Shea quickly goes to the offensive rebound, and he has to foul him. Now, Shea embellished that call 1,000%. But you cannot face guard block out in the NBA. He's clapping, and Shea, as he's clapping, he just goes, and Jaylen Brown has to react quicker because he was clapping. He was like a tick behind. He didn't want Shea to get the offensive rebound, which I respect. He puts two hands on him and pushes him down a little bit. That is a flop, 100%, but that is still a foul. So you can imagine how hyped the Garden crowd was, right? Tatum hits a three, JB locks down Shea, starts clapping, but then we give up a foul, and then he hits two free throws, right? So the Garden's kind of quiet down just a little bit, right? Tatum gets some momentum right back. Pull up three. Again, he was phenomenal in the second quarter, right? We got us on the defense side of the ball. Shea tries to do a step back three. He doesn't get it. And then again, Tatum, you cannot box. That's not how you can't box out like that in the NBA. You have to turn your back to him and box him out. You can't do that. So although I think Hartenstein pushed off slightly to go up, right? And that's what Tatum was upset about. You can't face guard block out somebody. So they're not going to give you the benefit of the doubt, right? They're going to let you play through it, right? And then this is the weakest tech in the league. Clapping at that is the weakest tech in the fucking league. But how many times have we seen Tatum get that technical foul? He can't do this. He can't keep doing that. In a game where we lost by 6 points, I talked about the momentum plays, right? I talked about fouling a 3-point shooter at the end of a quarter, right? Tatum gives up the offensive rebound, put back, that's 2. Then a technical foul that Shea is about to get, that's 3. You could have avoided that. That's all I'm saying. All right, so here we are in the second half. This was quite interesting as the first play. They like legit hunted shell in this play. They ran the killer wheel pick and roll and they just let Tatum work. And watch how he drives, right? So, right, he drives and puts Shea on his back. Again, they have good perimeter defenders, but these guys are frail except for Lou Dort and Kenrich Williams. Tatum and Brown can do this type of thing. And you see how the gap defense isn't as strong as it was in the first half, right? Lou Dort comes late to try to dig at the ball, but Tatum's already in the paint. They weren't even allowing us to get to the paint without gap, right, in the first half. So you can see how it is loosened up a little bit, right? But Tatum, a nice strong drive, and he gets a foul. And after the timeout, we got another post-entry turnover. And this is after the timeout. This is an out-of-timeout play, and we turn the ball over. This is part on Jaylen Brown and part on Derek White. Derek White did not wait for Jaylen Brown to really establish position, and Jaylen Brown didn't establish position. They continued to fight off the ball and to not give up the pass angle, and they did a good job of that here. All right, so I like what the Celtics did here. The weakest link defensively in the Thunder rotation is Isaiah Joe. They do the killer wheel pick and roll to get a switch. I think Tatum gave this up just a little bit too early. Like, I think he could have spun this way and got right to the basket, but he gives out the pressure early. And he shoots a 3, but he misses. We get the offensive rebound, and Drew Holiday sees Isaiah Joe, and he's like, oh, wait, let me go to the basket, and he scores. All right, so we got another potential huge momentum play ruined, right? So Luka that hits this free throw makes it a 10-2 run for the Celtics. The crowd isn't like super eruptive because we just hit a free throw, right? So it's cool, but we got a 10-2 run. Pritchard does a phenomenal job guarding Shea 94 feet, forcing a turnover, right? Crowd gets involved. You see everybody, look, everybody involved. We down 4. We trying to come all the way back, right? We do that and we turn the ball over. 10-2 run, hit the free throw, force a turnover on Shea, and we turn the ball over. And then what does OKC do? Of course, what they do in all times when we don't take advantage of the momentum is they score. Oh yeah, and we did it again, right? Sequence where we get all the momentum back. We have a chance to build on the momentum and we don't take it. So good defense here by the Celtics. Phenomenal team defense here by the Celtics. Forces, I think Lou Dort's gonna shoot a shot that he just has to shoot up. Yeah. So Lou Dort's just gonna have to shoot something up because it's the end of the shot clock, right? Play good defense. Crowd erupts on that rebound, right? Then we're gonna get the ball in transition. We push early, right? Crowd erupts. Look. The crowd is erupting. You see that, right? You see it, right? Everybody's up, everybody's clapping. You see that guy right there. Hold on, let me. You see that guy right there with the fist? Yeah, look at him. Okay, momentum. How's the first 3 of the game? Everybody's standing up. We play good defense again. Get the board. Crowd erupts. Watch what he do. Dude. Oh my God. Good stop. Crowd erupts. Sam Hauser first 3 of the game. Crowd erupts. Get a stop. Rebound. Crowd erupts. Imagine what happened if we score on this possession. But no. Turnover, and then Isaiah Joe scores a layup. But man, did Tatum get them back involved, dude. Did Tatum get them back involved with probably one of the best plays I've seen with Tatum this season. Watch how, okay, so the screen's coming. The jab reject. Lou Dort's out to play. Lou Dort is gone. Jab reject. Hezzy. Cross. Look how low Isaiah Hartenstein tried to get. Cross. And you see Isaiah Joe. Yeah. Look at where he took off from. That is tough, bro. All right, so we're in the 4th quarter. Just some quick notes about the 3rd quarter. And as you see on the screen, we got 16 points in the paint in that quarter alone to their 8. We only had 10 in the first half, but that was the only quarter that the Celtics won. I believe they tied the 2nd quarter. They lost the first by 3. Of course, we lost the 4th quarter, but we won the 3rd quarter 28-25, right? OKC shot 9 for 23, which is 39%. We shot 11 for 23, which is 48%, but we only shot 2 for 13 from 3. We were 9 for 10 on 2s. It's just such a flip-flop, right? How they switched their whole defensive game plan in the second half, and how we were able to adjust to that in the 3rd quarter, especially. Like, also some things to note: OKC shot their least amount of free throws in the 3rd quarter. we made the least amount of threes in the third quarter plus the most amount of twos, right? So it was just a complete flip-flop of offensive ideology, right? And we were able to win that quarter. And what kept OKC in that quarter was they had 10 points off turnovers. Imagine if we had just cut that in half, right? They have 5 points off turnovers. So now the game's not tied, they're down 5. They scored 20 points instead of 25 points. Like, that is the nitpicking that you have to do when you're playing teams this good and you're potentially gonna play somebody in the finals. You have to nitpick and you have to bog down on every detail, bro. Like, imagine if we don't turn the ball over and give them 5 baskets off turnovers. 10 points off turnovers. I don't know if they were 2s or 3s, but we just have to be better at that. But the terror lineup is back. Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren. No Shea in the game, no JT in the game. I heart pin down screen. I know it's a little small, but just I know the screen's a little small. Just work with it. And so we got the pin down screen right there for Chet, right? Then we're gonna have them in the pick and roll again together, right? We got that. He slips. Boy, he sets the screen and slips. Jaylen Brown does a nice job, but they go right back to it. And then Chet sets the screen. He slips and the alley-oop. And then again, it's just Isaiah Hartenstein just wrecking the defense. And he got to the line about 2 or 3 straight times, which, you know, was a big factor in them getting into the bonus with 6 minutes left. He creates or gets 3 fouls drawn and the Shea comes in. It was just a recipe for disaster. And again, it's really just simple stuff, but he's legit running the second unit. Like, he's legit, everything goes through him on the offense side of the ball. And he just got 3 straight foul calls and free throws. So because of that, Joe Mazzulla had to make another adjustment. He put Tatum back in the game as iHeart was shooting those free throws. So Tatum's usual rest was not something we could afford, because we had seen what happened when Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet was in that lineup in the first half and what they did to us. So Joe Mazzulla couldn't allow it to get that far, but still just being able to be +5. Again, you see the score was tied at the end of the third quarter, at the beginning of the fourth. They're up 5 now without Shea on the court. So that just can't happen. Their bench did a number on us, and well, especially in relative to our bench. But here we got Jaylen Brown getting a pin down screen from Al Horford. He comes off of it eventually, and he gets to switch on Chet Holmgren, really far away from the basket, snatches back, crossover. And again, you see where the gap defenders are, right? They're not as aggressive and they're not as close to Jaylen Brown as they were in the first half. So he was able to get a couple drives in the second half where he got space to work out, right? You see what Lou Dort's doing, he's looking. You see what Case is doing, he's looking. In the first half, Lou Dort was digging at this, putting his foot right here next to Chet Holmgren, and he's stopping his drive. But Jaylen Brown can't stop his drive, Toyota, and he's there. Not a sponsor. And we got to show love to our boy D. White, who had a phenomenal game, the second best player on the court for us. Look at that block. Look at that block on the 7-foot to Chad, and then we go down. We eventually find him for a 3 over Isaiah Hartenstein, and the crowd erupts. Okay, so I talked about OKC's bench coming up clutch, right? After that Derek White 3, we hit a 3, right? But Isaiah Joe and Kenrich Williams both hit 3s in the fourth quarter. So that's how we end up at 101-98, right? And Jaylen Brown, man. Jaylen Brown, like, we talk about the offensive woes a lot, right? He only had, 10 points in his game? Or something like that. He had 4 fouls in the fourth quarter. And he had 3 in the first 6 minutes of it. Isaiah Hartenstein getting those fouls early when Shea was off the court does help. And then Jaylen Brown finished the job off with them getting in the bonus with 6:48 left in the fourth quarter, because he just couldn't play defense without fouling. And for the record, I don't think this is basketball. Like, this is not a Shea thing. I just don't think you hooking somebody's arm is a natural basketball motion. I thought the NBA was steering away from non-basketball motion. So if you pump fake and somebody jumps, but they jump straight in the air and then you lunge into them, they said they took that out. I still see it happen, right? But we'll get to that later, of course. When you're driving a basketball and you cease and you feel contact that's not necessarily a foul yet, nobody shoots the ball hooking somebody and then shoots it. That's not basketball to me. But again, Jaylen Brown has to defend without fouling. That's just one of them. Like, he had 4 in the fourth quarter. He can't do that. All right, Tatum had a phenomenal game, and he won't be super knocked for this, but he has to be better in the fourth quarter. He was 1 for 6 in the fourth. He had a turnover on the previous play, tried to drive on Shea, turned the ball over, and he, like, we talked about the held defense not being as prevalent in the second half. He has Isaiah Joe in front of him, and he shot 3 over him. Look at how much space he has to drive the basketball. Right, Pritchard's gonna space out to the corner eventually, like what he was going to before Tatum shot. And Lou Dort is damn near hugged up on Drew Holiday. Go. But I will say that he got fouled here, like 100%. Like, what are we looking at, ref? What are we looking at right now? Contest, and he lands in Tatum's airspace. He didn't just fall for no reason. Both of his feet fell on Isaiah Joe's foot, and the ref's looking directly at him. And like, if Tatum gets a tech here, I don't want him to get a tech, but what, like, I can't say I don't understand him, because what are you looking at? You standing right there. But Tatum just needs to drive this basketball on Isaiah Joe, but he did get fouled, in my opinion. And these are the types of drives I'm talking about against the Casey Wallaces, like the good defenders that just aren't as strong as Jalen and Jason Tatum. Here, Drew Holiday does a nice job getting to the post and getting to the bucket, but he ends up passing out. But these are the type of drives I'm talking about. Straight line drives, get low, hold your line, own your space, right? Don't make them turn you 3 times. Don't make them have to make you spin move. Get low, turn the corner like a defensive end, right there. He got low, got the leverage, turn the corner, and finish strong. All right, here's the play. Again, I love that the NBA try to take this out. I hope they do it more consistently with guys lunging. It's tricky because Chet does jump to Jason Tatum. He doesn't jump straight up. The thing was supposed to take away somebody jumping straight up and the offensive player lunging into that player. So it is twofold, because Chet 100% jumps towards Tatum, but Tatum, again, they're trying to take away like non-natural basketball shooting motions. So you lunging at somebody and shooting is not natural. Tatum does go into Chet Holmgren before he shoots. Now, the regular thing to call in this play is either you call the foul or you don't call it. I have never seen a travel called on this type of play. Never. And I don't even think Tatum traveled. There are so much way more obvious travels that don't get called. And especially on a situation where somebody's trying to draw a foul, I have never seen this situation be called a travel. But it was in this instance. And I talked about OKC's bench, how they came up huge. Isaiah Joe hit a 3. Cameron hit 3 in the 4th quarter. And Casey Wallace hits that dagger, and then he scored a layup after this one. But that is the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe, and share any and every one that you can. Just get out there a little bit more. Now, we'll see you guys in the next video. This is Nick. Peace.